So recently, LS Mark posted his highly anticipated show, Catching Up, and Ayy Lmao did a video. It was a review of his opinions. It was a pretty negative review, and I kind of just thought that I'd give my thoughts on his review and, give some counterpoints and say why I generally disagree with his opinions. And, obviously they're his opinions. If you agree or whatever, I respect that. I respect his opinions, and I should hope that he would respect mine.
The first issue I have, which stuck with me throughout the pilot, was the pacing. The pacing is extremely slow, to the detriment of the flow of the episode. Added to this, characters talk slowly and have long dramatic pauses. All of this combined together means that the pilot drags a bit, and instead of being 20 minutes long, it feels far longer.
So yeah, his first complaint with it is the pacing, and honestly, that's valid, I get it, but I kinda don't mind because I didn't really find it boring. I thought the pacing was pretty good. It got us in pretty quickly, and for the most part, it was just kind of letting the characters flow, just letting the characters do what they wanted to do. So, his complaint is valid, but I really didn't mind. I don't think everything needs a breakneck pace, and for this, I thought the slow pace was perfectly fine.
Linked in with this is the lack of any real goals or premise. In other indie pilots, they've always sort of introduced the characters in a way where you can quickly see their motivations or why they act the way they do.
So, I get his other complaint. He criticized the premise or lack thereof, or, something along those lines. And again, though, I know LS Mark. I know what he likes and I know his taste. I was expecting nothing more or less than a simple, character-driven slice of life show, and frankly, I think we need more of those, honestly. I'm tired of every show having to have a grand storyline and be this big thing, and especially in the indie animation scene. I get it. People want to tell stories. I want to tell stories. So I get it, but sometimes it's nice to have an indie animated show that is a slice of life and nothing less, because sometimes you're just being sold a premise, and, sometimes I just like it simple. The word he used was underwhelming, and honestly, I do kind of get it. I know LS Mark. I'm a big fan of his videos, so I was expecting that, but I get why not everyone would go for that.
Clay and Rob are the two main characters, but we don't really get an introduction to them. We don't find out how they met, why they're in this wacky world of anthropomorphic characters, or why they act the way they do. Their two personalities seem to clash, only really working together at the very end when Clay is drunk. I think the pilot would have benefited a lot from a setup or a flashback to introduce the duo.
I did like the idea. I don't think we needed to see Clay and Rob meet. I don't think they needed to, quote, be established as friends. I kind of don't even really know what that means, but I think it was fine to just have the first episode just show a day in their life. Just focus on what they do. Just, show us what a day in their life looks like. It's pretty much the perfect jumping off point to just let the characters do their thing, and I really did appreciate that, especially because I liked these characters and found them to be very charming.
The comedy wasn't particularly noteworthy, with the one joke I laughed at being the joke Clay made when trying to chat up a girl in the club.
And then the humor one is obviously very subjective. I honestly didn't really think it was that funny either. I didn't think it was the funniest thing ever. There were no real gut busters in there, but it got a few good chuckles out of me, and I definitely had a big smile on my face the whole time I was watching it. It definitely wasn't lol worthy, but it was good. The humor was it did its job. For me, at least.
I don't think Catching Up knows its target audience. It feels as if the show is aiming for a teenager or young adult demographic, but with a couple of swears and overall concept, I don't think it really appeals to either. I think the show probably would have been better if it focused on appealing to younger viewers.
And I'm hearing this criticism from a lot of different people that it doesn't seem to know its target audience, and I could not disagree with this one more. To me, this feels like it's made for teenagers and adults, older teenagers, younger adults. It feels like it's made for adults that like to watch kids' cartoons, because that's what Mark is, that's what I am. Sometimes it's nice to watch a cartoon that feels bright and colorful and like it's for kids, but it's not, and it feels like it's trying to recapture the awkward, cringe middle school memories that pretty much everyone universally has. That's what it feels like to me. To me, it feels like it's meant to kind of, dig into those memories. It's for adults, but it's supposed to remind you of your childhood and remind you of kids' cartoons. That's what I think its target audience is. And that's the other thing. Like, everybody thinks that adult cartoons need to be like Has-Been or Family Guy, with the swearing and the crude humor, but like, I liked the toned downness to it. I liked that there were only a few swears. They don't need to say fuck every word to have the thing be funny. And take this as you will, but I'm like a Vivzy Pop super fan. I love and unironically laugh at all of her stuff. Her humor genuinely makes me laugh. So, take that with a grain of salt. Maybe my opinion on this one doesn't matter. Maybe I have no right to have one.
Similarly, the character designs are a bit hit or miss. Clay and Rob's designs just appear very flat and basic. This is a bit problematic since they're the two main characters who are on screen most of the time.
Now, the character designs being boring, 100%, I agree with that one. That's definitely true. They don't even, I feel like their outfits don't really reflect their personalities that much, and honestly, besides for their resting expressions, nothing really tells us who they are. It's just a cat or wolf or whatever he is in, a red jacket and stuff. Like, most of the side and background characters look way more appealing and look more like main characters than Rob and Clay do. So, I totally agree with that one 100%. I honestly do have some general problems with the show visually. I can't really put my finger on why, but everything just looks kind of flat. And Ayy Lmao did mention how they contrast with the background very well, but in my opinion, it's almost too well. They don't look like they're a part of it ever. They don't really look like they're in it. They just look like they're flat and in front of it. But, these are just style choices, and, there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't really vibe with it that well. Technically, though, it is very, very well put together. I didn't really spot any obvious animation errors. The rigs are good, they're decently expressive. It does the job fairly well. And, there are things like the lighting and the After Effects and all that look really good. And the colors are just great, especially in the club with all of the vibrant neon lighting. I definitely appreciated that. So all that said, overall, what do I think of the pilot? I really did enjoy it, I liked it a lot, and this isn't just me sucking Mark's dick or anything because I like him as a creator. I just wildly disagree with a lot of Ayy Lmao's criticisms, and honestly, that's okay, I like to hear differing opinions on these things, and I do think Mark needs to hear the criticism too, so it really was just a breath of fresh air, and it's low-key exactly what I've been missing lately. I've been missing the simple character-driven media, I've been missing the slice of life, and it was so refreshing to see something a lot more simple and grounded than what I'm used to seeing these days. And, it wasn't amazing. It was okay at best, but it was a good first attempt for him, and I'm very happy he was able to get it out, and I'm really hoping this goes somewhere because I will definitely be sticking around to see more. So thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Bye.